legendary defender from England, Jill Parker. How you doing, Jill?
I'm very well, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing well, recovering from a rain slip outside a few minutes ago.
Oh dear, I was inside, but I did hear it.
You heard my slip?
No, I heard the rain.
Well, as far as rain and slipping goes, we've got a pretty potentially washout of a match here, but I will say that China, the top seed, only mentioned one other team as a real concern coming into this, and Austria was that team. So right now it's the top two teams from the group. China, the first seed in the group, Austria, the second seed. And what it would require for Austria here is a 3-0 sweep for a three-way tie. They were beaten by Korea DPR, also known as North Korea to much of the world. 3-0. I managed to see the Schlager match, and it was a blowout. Very impressive play from the Korean DPR players. And this is the lineup for Team China. Not a bad lineup. World number 1, world number 4, and world number 3. On the other side of the table, we're going to have Robert Gardos, world rank number 25, Stefan Fagel, world rank number 23, and Chen Weixing, world rank number 47. Not a bad bench either, but on the side of China, you've got Fan Zhendong sitting the bench, world rank number 2. That's a luxury that only one country can afford out here. So have you had the chance to see the Chinese men play yet this tournament, Jill?
No, I haven't. Not this tournament. The last time I saw them live was at Tokyo at the last team championships. It was in 2014. So I've only sort of see things that are online. So to see them here again, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me as well. This is my first time really getting to see the men play. I don't think they give you much time to see them. They're sort of in and out, sort of the way a doctor visit or a dentist visit would ideally go. They just show up, take care of the job, and get you out quickly. I will say, though, that as far as threats, Robert Gardos, when he played Zhang Jike 2 years ago in Tokyo, had match points. And it was a very exciting deuce in the 5th match. I remember I took video of it. It was my first time seeing such a thing. After that, since then, Stefan Fagel has beaten Zhang Jike. But the matchup right here is Robert Gardos versus Ma Long, the most undefeated player in 2015 on the World Tour, only losing one match the entire year. And it was to teammate Shang Quinn, the number 9 player from the Chinese national team. So Ma Long, the Dragon, the Dictator, was the male table tennis star of the year by the ITTF Star Awards. Took super titles left and right. China Open, Kuwait Open. He was the men's World Cup winner. And of course the world champion in Suzhou, as you saw him standing on top of the table, planting his flag in his property. So Ma Long, it's, sitting right next to us now, Wang Liqin to our left commentator. He was pretty dominant for years. Him and Ma Lin, a little bit back and forth for some time. But some people are asking if Ma Long is redefining the best player ever. Is he the fastest? Is he the strongest? And a lot of fans still discuss who's really better, Zhang Jike at his best or Ma Long at his best. I think from a confidence standpoint, that's the real question, is that Zhang Jike seems to have confidence when it's important, and Ma Long gained his confidence in 2015, the best we've ever seen. Now, as far as European table tennis, have you had a chance to see Gardos play much?
Not this tournament either. I seem to be busy watching and commentating on other matches, so no, I haven't either. So it'll be exciting to see both teams play today.
Yeah, and this guy right here, Chen Li, was nominated for Coach of the Year 2015, sitting next to Werner Schlager, the 2003 world champion. Someone who managed to defeat Wang Liqin. I have to whisper that. Sitting right next to me. I just checked to see if he looked. But yeah, Schlager started off this tournament quite strong, although against Korea DPR, it was a 3-0 win, and it was not even close. He just looked completely outpaced, which is odd considering how well he's played this tournament before then. So Gardos' style, I think he's got one of the best style matchups to actually compete with the top Chinese players, as he takes the ball early off the bounce, sharp angles, very aggressive backhand, not afraid to step around. Quite a physical game considering he's 37 years old. On the other side of the table, the man on top of the world, Ma Long at 27 years old, world ranked number 1. And the only people who are really threatening him for that spot are his teammates. I think it's just a question of really holding back the floodgates of Fan Zhendong. We'll see. It's a lot of pressure to keep up the performance when you're playing for the Chinese national team. It's pretty rare to see players playing into their 30s. So Gardos has been outplayed this past year. In the last 12 months, Stefan Fagel has moved ahead of him in the world rankings due to a fabulous Polish Open, almost beating Fan Zhendong as well as Zhang Jike. And the funny thing about that match against Fan Zhendong, he essentially lost game 1 11-0. There was a mercy point from Fan Zhendong. I mean, it was very clear. And then Fan Zhendong easily won his 11th point for an 11-1. The next 2 games, Stefan Fagel came back to win. And I'm sure in your career you've seen some of this as well, a blowout in game 1 and a turnaround.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, sometimes, you know, with some players, they win the first game easy and then perhaps relax a little bit. But I think, you know, this standard of play, you've got to give 100% right from first to last point each game. You can't afford to relax at all because they can come back.
Well, here's the first point. We've had 2 serve attempts. Ma Long starting off in this best-of-5 match versus Robert Gardos.
1-love.
Just in case, Ma Long's right there, in case the ball comes over the net.
Love.
That's full
2.
commitment power right there. Willing to risk leaving the table wide open. Almost turns his back to the table.
Love 3.
And the trick is, in some of these matches, you're playing the most dominant player on the planet. You really have to push yourself to take shots like Gardos is trying to take. It's just you have to make a higher percentage.
4-love.
And a long serve attempt, I mean, everything really has to be just right, as deep on the table as possible.
4-love.
And I think one thing that Gardos does quite well that could be effective out here is misleading, not really telegraphing where he's going with the shoulders before the shot.
Let 4-love. Love.
And yes, it's a lot to ask, but out here, any opportunity Gardos gets to spin the ball or get the first attack, he's going to have to capitalize on.
Love 6.
Now, as far as that tradition of the blowout in the first game, it's well on its way so far. But I think whether it's confidence or just sort of the reality check of what it's like to be on the table with Ma Long again, I expect a better second game, or at least second half to this one.
Yeah, he hasn't really got going at all. I mean, he's tried everything he could, but you know, he's 7-love down. But you know, his opponent is very formidable. He's trying everything, but unfortunately, it's just missing. I think he might just want to get this game out of the way and then concentrate on the next one.
There we go.
8-1.
Comeback started. Get ready for 10 straight points. Well, we'll see about that. But he's able to block it back deep, keep some pressure on.
Let 8-1.
Beautiful receive, taking it deep out to the forehand side. Until the moment of contact, it was tough to tell if he was going to flip or go inside out deep to the backhand. Watch this again. Looked a little more clear from that angle, but it's very deep on the table.
3-8.
And that's 3 in a row for Gardos. That one happened so quickly we didn't even see it. If he could just sneak a few more points in there before the next, before the replay is finished, Gardos could be tied up. Just missing the short edge.
9-3.
And in addition to Fan Zhendong on the bench, finalist from the World Championships last year in Suzhou, Fang Bo. There we go, some backhand topspin. Gardos has an unusual backhand, really sort of rounds about over the ball. He snaps from the elbow, little bit differently than some other backhands.
Let 9-4.
Right idea, I think, to keep it deep on the table, put it back into play somewhere, move him around a little bit. But it's 6 game points for Ma Long. Strong forehand flip, but not strong enough to get past Ma Long. 11-4, game 1, a breeze for Ma Long. We'll be back for game 2 and see what Gardos has in his plans.
Second game, Austria to serve. Love all.
So we're back for game 2. Ma Long leading 1-0 over Robert Gardos with the serve.
Love 1.
Right away he's initiating, he's opening up. Jill, you and I just talked about how there weren't so many rallies, and generally when players of a lesser caliber are playing China, which is pretty much all teams at this point, we don't see as many rallies.
2 love.
Though they're over very, very quickly, and you know, as soon as there's a loose ball, they put the point away. And unfortunately, for us watching it, we'd like to see a few more rallies, wouldn't we, Adam?
Definitely would make it exciting. I think Stefan Fagel at the Polish Open put on a show for everybody. It felt like all of Europe was behind him in the stadium. While he's coming up next, remember, Gardos definitely has played well. He's just playing the toughest player right now.
1-3.
And I think there is a lot to be learned watching Ma Long play, of course. Playing Ma Long, even more to be learned. But even if it's not quite as tight of a match as we'd like to see, sort of admiring the masterpiece at work right now.
Let 1-3.
No, that's exactly. I mean, everything he does is perfection, isn't it? You know, he's serving, he's getting in, he's always in the right position for every ball. It's only very occasionally, you know, he gets caught out of position, but he seems to know where the ball is going and recovers after he's played a shot of where it could come to.
Clever idea right back down the line. Ma Long still only giving up 1 point in the first 6. And as you mentioned, the recovery of Ma Long, this is some of the trouble we see facing Ma Long for Robert Gardos. He'll make 1 shot, but after that it feels like maybe even a few shots. But as soon as Ma Long starts attacking, Gardos seems to be chasing and trying to just counter to stay in control.
6-1.
The placement, I mean, as far as physical fitness and agility, if you look at the body of Zhang Jike, the legs, you don't see much fitter legs than that. But as far as agility, Ma Long seems like the most versatile player on the planet. And I think he thought the point was over. He could have gotten back for that, but that's excellent play out to the open table for Gardos. He can afford to step around and take a big shot or two here and there. Until Gardos starts really consistently punishing him for that, we won't see Ma Long's backhand too much.
3-6.
Soft touch, Gardos diffusing the attack. And that serve, very familiar to many of you who've watched Schlager play over the years. That same toss and then the crossover at contact with the hands. we go, making him work a little bit more. For the briefest of moments, Gardos was within 2 points here.
Let 7-4.
I feel like there's going to have to be something with serve receive. The long pushes were quite effective. At least it gets Ma Long back off the table, a slightly more predictable angle, a little bit more time to react to the loop.
Five, 7.
So the flawless player in bright orange right now is only in a 2-point lead. This is quite different than last game.
He's still going for his shots, but unfortunately they are just missing.
I think Gardos is finding different ways to keep the pressure on, sort of choose his placement more specifically in the rally. Soft shot just coming off the table this time, and Ma Long able to loop it up. The one thing we've talked about, the top level, even on the run, able to hit the ball
5-8.
right where you want it, find your opponent's middle, open up new angles, and Ma Long, even when it seems like he's out of the point, still a threat from off the table.
8-6.
The winner of this group obviously will go straight through to the quarterfinals, and therefore they'll have the day off tomorrow. What do you think the Chinese, obviously if they win this match and they win the group, what do you think the Chinese team will be doing tomorrow?
Practicing. Going to the beach? No, practicing. Gardos really making it a fight here. It was a long point, managed to stay in, keep it deep on the table. Now Ma Long, this is one thing that Gardos, anything he can do to make Ma Long less confident really helps his chances. It was a smart change of pace. He really just soaked up all the energy off the spin on a few of those shots. But the last one a little bit tough to control for Gardos. Sort of redirecting there. Could have tied it up. His serves have been effective, subtle contact. Got a few points off those.
7,
Not a bad
10.
setup. Got Ma Long off balance. Still Ma Long off balance. Pretty threatening. So 3 game points for Ma Long against Gardos' serve.
11-7.
Right idea. Tries to get the
China.
aggressive shot in from over the table. But it's 11-7. Games are getting closer. We'll see what happens in game 3 if Gardos can put one on the board and make Ma Long a little bit nervous right after this. Stay here. So as the players come back for game 3, a little bit about their history. They've only played twice before, Ma Long winning both of those matches, at least on ITTF World Tour events. Last time they played was 2014, Tokyo at the World Team Championships, the last version of this tournament. Clever shot. 2 steps to the side. Ma Long was getting set up. And Gardos playing it right into the middle of the table with some pace. feel like that's such an iconic shot right there with the racket behind the head from Malong.
One all.
You asked about what China might be doing if they have time off. I can tell you, before and after tournaments, I've seen Malong on his back, on rollers, rolling out every muscle, doing things to stay flexible. Things that I can't imagine doing ever.
Whatever he's doing it well.
Yeah, I'll say. Every once in a while, we see someone last in a rally lobbing to Malong. I think Gardos is going to try to do everything he can to keep the balls low and aggressive. That's how a fast, long serve goes. I know that the humidity changes when it's raining outside. Sometimes the environment gets a little more humid. Ball slips off the rubber. Beautiful combination. Too deep to the backhand, opens up the forehand. He's just got Malong guessing when he can make his move to cover. As a defender, did you ever twiddle and use the blocking game on the backhand side?
Only if I was caught out of position, I'd block. I'd go back and defend. But if it was a soft ball, then I would hit it with the backhand no spin, just a flat hit, but definitely not a block.
Now, one thing to remember about Austria, they are the European champions for 2015. So they've shown a lot of improvement. Spoke briefly about the coach, Chen Chen-Li. It seems that since he came into the program, things have really continued to be on the up and up. And Austria was doing quite well before, but even better now.
5-4.
So we're looking at a one-point game. The real threat doesn't feel real until, you know, the underdog against China has final game, or at least 2 games here. And he turns so quickly. Saw Gardos set up on the backhand corner. Some of these replays even, Jill, it's like you just can't tell where he's going until the last moment.
No, his footwork is so quick. As you say, you don't know to the last minute where he's going to place the ball.
5-6.
And I think you hit the nail on the head. Footwork is one of the most important things out here in table tennis. It's why you see all these strong, bulky legs that look like footballers and boxers. A little bit more trim upper bodies to be able to stay fluid and quick.
Let 5-6. 7-5.
Sort of a set him up, knock him down combination. Deep serve into the backhand, see if he steps around, try to bait him into it and hit it down the line. I think when someone like Gardos or Fagel gets a match point or beats anyone on the Chinese national team, one of the top players, videos are quickly analyzed and they're working hard to make sure that they have answers for these games. Less surprise. 2 bounces on the table. Excellent touch. We talked about how Malong doesn't have many flaws. I mean, he's fast on his feet. He's strong from both sides. He seems to get there early. He's attacking with placement. But it's so rare to see him misjudge the length of a serve. Oh, there it is. And even not a serve, just any ball in the rally. I think this is efficient play at 37 years old. Gardos trying to use his opponent's power and sort of redirect it. You gotta love it, right, Jill?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised because obviously he does cover with his forehand a lot of the table, but you would have thought with going round the backhand side there, he would have played a much stronger ball and maybe placed it slightly different, because straight to him, wide out to his forehand. But who am I to criticise?
Well, there was a lead there for a moment. Gardos was up 8-7. Now tied up. This is real chance to start making a dent. And again, this is still just the group stages. These two could face off again later in the tournament.
9-8.
It's the pressure, keeping it deep on your push. A little bit too deep, you missed the table. A little bit too short, you missed the point. And now match point 2 of them for Ma Long. He just seems so comfortable from everywhere. It's like he's planted and waiting for your shot. On the rare occasion you get him on the run, still manages to make a pretty excellent shot. Outstanding point. That's the best point of the match so far. And what an effort. Ma Long chopping from near the ground. Bit of fishing, some inside out spin. And to have the confidence to really take this backhand from off the table. The last shot here of the rally. Ma Long leaving both of his feet in the air for that. And suddenly we're at deuce. Gardos still alive. So Jill, what do you think Gardos is going to have to do to pull out this game?
Well, he's got to serve tight. Whatever he does, he's got to be looking to try and get in with his forehand if possible. But he's placing the ball around the table really well, catching Ma Long out of position.
That's the best placement. You've got the top of the net and right behind it. A bit of a break for the Austrian player. I think he could vary it up without using the net, maybe catch an edge of the table. Wouldn't hurt.
I'm sure he'd be pleased with that.
Oh, tries for it, but Ma Long, even as deep as that serve was, just drilled it down the short side of the table. Absolute punishment. This ball is grounded for life. Seemed like a good idea to me. Pretty well executed too, but Ma Long doesn't commit early, just moves so quickly.
11-12.
Similar attempt at the back edge of the table, and it's another match point for Ma Long. 2 have been saved already by Gardos. Interesting count there, some stats. 13 unforced errors by Ma Long, 19 by Gardos.
12 all.
It's rare to see Ma Long playing such soft shots. I mean, from off the table a little bit, it seemed like he had the time to take a backhand counter loop on this ball. Just wanted to fish it, I guess, give himself a little more secure shot. So as much as fans around the world praise Ma Long, he still is human. As much as we joke, being the best player in the world doesn't mean there are no flaws. Gardos is doing a great job to sort of detect where he can find those weaknesses, put the pressure on him, get him out of his comfort zone. An opportunity there. It looked like Gardos was coming back in to cover the middle. Ma Long just hit it right on the elbow here.
Time out.
The timeout's going to be called by the Austrian coach, Chen Chen-Li. So Jill, you talked about the tight serves. Just wondering what the coach has to say other than giving some confidence to either loosen up or pump up, whatever it takes for his player to really fight point for point.
Well, they've obviously got their tactics already prepared before they go on the match, and I think as the match progresses, sometimes you have to change those tactics. Maybe he's calling him back and to reaffirm what he said to him at the beginning. But I think with all these attacking players, they've always got to be looking to keep variation of serve, keep it tight, occasionally put the fast one in. I think Gardos, he served long at deuce there. If he'd have won the point, we would have said, oh, what a great service that was. But Marlon saw what he'd done and was in straight away. So I think reinforcing that he's got to be positive, you know, hit the ball hard if he can, take it early, you know, packs into his body, wide out. But Gardos is playing well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny how the result sometimes, for a lot of people, justifies the quality of the shot. I really try to look past that and see, you know, was it a good idea not knowing? Because how can Gardos know that Marlon is going to be able to react so well to that serve? You could argue that Marlon can react well to any shot, but it did seem like a great idea. So another match point for Marlon Gardos with the serve. Here we go, some heavy underspin short to the forehand. Marlon's flip not able to lift enough. We'll see if the timeout gets him through this game. Just seems like an uncomfortable shot there. Gardos not happy with the contact. And both players might be missing a few shots due to humidity. Love that bowling step there, the right leg almost behind the left from Marlon, just around the corner for a moment.
I wonder whether he disguised it by putting no spin on the ball, thinking it was heavy because he took it below the table, and then Gardos made a mistake.
And that's as strong as they come. Going the other way off balance, Marlon comes back to take it 15 points to 13. And not a game dropped yet. Outstanding performance by world number 1 and an excellent effort from Robert Gardos, world number 25, 37-year-old from Austria. Stick around because coming up next will be a revenge match for Zhang Jike. They're 1-1, Stefan Fagel and Zhang Jike right after this for the second spot. Come back, you're watching the World Championships in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.